here for his speech. Fabrizio Renzi is Director of Technology, Innovation and Research at IBM Italia. Yes. And the speech he's going to have is about research in Italy in private companies.
Yes. Buonasera. Good evening. Is there? Okay, yes. Buonasera, good evening. I am Fabrizio Renzi. Fabrizio, decouple me in the positive or in the negative. I will not ask you to say yes at the end of this presentation, but I share a dream. I share a dream with my country and therefore with my Prime Minister, that is to bring research in Italy. We in IBM, we have a large investment in research. We have some activities in Italy, but in the last 2 years, I fought very hard to start to bring research in Italy. That's my reason in life in these days. And I would like to thank Professor Cingolani, Professor Simoni, Tecnogym, Humanitas, and Intesa, and James Snowden, our American friends with whom I spend more time than my wife in these days, because this was the effort we are after, and I believe it's something. That's why I'm going to tell you about what we're going to do in research in Italy in these days. Huh? And I spent a very nice weekend here in Washington. Last week I had a client in New York. Therefore, I did the foliage, Shenandoah National Park, the Black American Museum that gives me the inspiration for the dream. And at the end, I will give you also another point of interesting things to visit in this area that could be related to the pitch I'm going to give to you. I also enrolled the ISSNAF because basically I spent my initial part of my life after I left Polytechnic. Today is really interesting. I also have the Professor Pietra Bissa, that was the person with whom I did a thesis at Polytechnic on biomedical engineering. And after a while I left for US, and I was in Austin, Texas, not really US, probably I do not enroll ISSNAF properly, but for 2 years on HPC running Deep Blue. At that time, IBM was playing chess, and I was creating the fiber optic connections within that machine. This was when I was young, so I want to create research in Italy to do rejuvenation. That's basically the basic truth. I want to become young when I was here in US. So I am ISSNAF, and we are creating this model, but it's a new model that, of course, how can you stay without a platform in these days? So we are creating a platform format or the Airbnb of research, let's say. That is important. In the new world, the research is not done anymore in the close of the room of each research office. It's done in a very cooperative way between companies and the universities and the research institution and a lot of other partnerships. By the way, Monica, you should give to me a royalty because I put Galileo observing ISSNAF from Pisa or Padua. Yeah. That's for you. I'll give you as a gift together with the website. Yeah, we will discuss. Absolutely. The concept is to connect the problem of the client with the research. That's what it is. That's why this concept of, I joke, calling research and business, because basically it's what it is. The cycle has shortened a lot. There is a very short cycle, so you need to connect very fast between the research side and the business side, and this is very important in our experience. That's something I would like to share with you at this stage. So you have a major role to play, you as a team, in supporting the business of your country, and I believe you are already playing well. Now, what we are doing, let's go on the topics. We have selected topics, and by the way, I spent a lot of time in Dubai, here, and so I started from right to the left. The country is investing in these days in some areas. Roberto mentioned the investment on Technopole. There is now the investment on Industry 4.0. There is investment on cybersecurity, of course. There is a lot of country research investment, tourism. And of course, European Union is investing. So that's what the country is investing. We need, because we are competing globally, as one of the points we've heard before, if you're not outstanding, you know well here in this room. If you're not excellent in research, no way. You don't go anywhere. Therefore, we compete in a global company. To position IBM research in Italy, I have to tell the rest of IBM company, as Agostino was saying correctly, and it will not be easy, why I'm better to do in Italy. So one point, I started to use the brand of the country. The brand of the country is around well-being, sustainability, and a lot of topics. And this encompasses tourism. This comprehends health, food, wellness, robotics, that is we'll discuss shortly. Cyber, of course, is important, as you mentioned before, the number of attacks is growing, and new energy as well. Now, I will to go faster. We started some experience with some clients. And with them, we started the research to business. We start to do some activities. For example, here we have in the room Technogym. With them, we are working on the wellness. We are a worldwide leader on the wellness side. And we have in the room our friend of Humanitas, and with them, we are competing on the world of healthcare. Competing, that means we move investment of the company, IBM Global, from here to Italy. Because we could have done the same project we did in Humanitas, in Aberdeen Hospital, that he has the same question. That's what we are after in this day. We have to compete, and to compete we need excellence. We have, so another point, Italy is, we saw before, we are going to be 82 years old, but when you become 82, you will start to forget things, and with Alzheimer, and that's what we are doing in Bolzano and in south of Italy with San Giovanni Rotondo, something about aging. Italy clearly there is a good test bed for this kind of things. We just won food. We are when I was in Dubai, my daughter asked me, Daddy, how do you pronounce, because they were speaking poor English, how do you pronounce pasta pizza in English? I said, you pronounce pasta pizza. On food, we are superpower, isn't it? And therefore, we just went to, with the large client in agri-food and agribusiness. That's something, an area of research for Italy. Humanities, we'll discuss later. Humanities is crucial. My wife has a humanities degree and a psychology degree. Therefore, every 3 seconds, she tells me humanities is better than engineering. And now I am convinced humanities is better than engineering. Now she's studying a master at Politecnico on technology. That's this convergence among the two words is becoming pretty important. Therefore, humanities is an area IBM is keeping an eye of, and so it's important to do. Istituto Italiano di Tecnologia, of course, is an excellence. Now, going to compete. We were in competition with, we asked for money to the corporation to do a research lab in Italy with the ET, because they are leader, excellent in robotics. And we were in competition with the Japanese. They were asking the same money, and the people here in the US, and we were able, thanks not to our value, to the value of IET, to win. So we were able to have money flowing from IBM Corporation here into Italy, and with that we do joint research. On cyber, I will not spend much time because it doesn't need to be discussed, but you know well that is a key topic, and there is important for banking, is important for electricity company, is important for, and by the way, it's a cooperation work that we are doing together, all the players. If you can be done from player like Cisco or IBM or the other. And energy is the other topic. And now, yes, I will not go through the projects. The other point is university. You need to work with university. We believe in a multipolar system with a lot of university around Italy, not because we have a lot of campanili. In Italy, probably you don't remember what campanile is, but I will tell you what it is, probably, okay? But because there is diversity in the country is one of our strength. And I am in Milano. I've always worked in Milano when I was not abroad, but clearly it's important to grow in all the country with hubs, with hub in Milano, with the other areas. And so we started around with a lot of programs, and therefore we are working around the country on this topic. Now, to close the presentation, so I stay on the time. To close the presentation, so I stay on the time, in the weekend I visit Shenandoah National Park, where there is fantastic foliage in this day. You know what foliage is? Yes, these fantastic things falling down from the trees, yes. And Professor Simoni was writing a book on the declino of Italia, and the declino, and now he's saying we're changing. The declino of Italia is, we tend to be considered abroad as a country with a fantastic foliage, isn't it? It's a foliage, it's wonderful, gorgeous, but foliage. Huh? Now, I don't want, now, this if I can quote, when he opened the Technopole, I was in US, because I remember Zurich first, he went back to Milano, and they went to US to start the negotiation, the discussion there. That was happening in those days. He invented an interesting word that he says, he wants a futuro petaloso for for the country, isn't it? Futuro petaloso is a future. Petaloso is an interesting word. It is a blooming. So I prefer, and this is in line with what you're saying, we prefer blooming than foliage. Foliage is gorgeous, but we as Italy, we should start to bloom. Therefore, another piece of touristic advice for you. There is Gettysburg, close to here, where Lincoln, the guy in the big sitting there at the end of the mall, was making his most important pitch. Huh? And this most important pitch, he was talking about the new birth for freedom. This was what he was talking about, new birth for freedom. Now, I believe that research, and I believe you all in this room are convinced about this, is an area for freedom. The freedom of learning. Sapere aude, was Kant was saying. That's what it is. So let's cross fingers, let's work together as a team, client, you all in this room. Let's give a new birth for freedom to Italy and blooming and not foliage. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Looking
you,
forward to team up with you.
Thank you, Fabrizio. I'll ask now Giovanni Caforio to come here. He's MD CEO, Bristol Myers Squibb, and is going to talk us about transformation of cancer treatment through immuno-oncology.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Monica, thank you.